Everyone to the live Watchalong. As always, I'm the Palm and I've got the legend that is a cricket sensation here at the moment. The breaker of wickets himself, Fazzy. How are you doing?
Yeah, good mate. Good. Nice day out in the field today, but yeah, feeling pumped for some football.
How did we get on at the cricket? Go on, share the cricket story.
Oh well, not a great result as far as wins go. We didn't quite get over the line, but look, word has got around that Big Fazz was bowling absolute gas and broke a bail today. So clean bowling. So
Mate, and the way the Aussies are going down before the Ashes might be a late call up.
well, it's funny because I'm actually captain of my team, and there was no text messaging this week. I can tell you that right now.
As I
Stayed well
say,
away
no,
from my
no
phone.
sexting scandal about to come out.
Nah,
No
stayed
sexting
away from my phone.
scandal. Well, we're
Oh
joined as
dear.
people fluttering. Big Luke James, good day to you, mate. And Big Andrew, good day to you, mate. We've got Leicester Chelsea. This is a good one, isn't it? This we don't often get an even game, but Leicester could shock Chelsea here, couldn't they?
Yeah. Look, I really can't speak highly enough of Leicester and how they go about their football the last few seasons, all the way back since they won the league. Actually, Brendan Rodgers is a class manager. You know what you're going to get from him, and they will. Chelsea are fantastic. They're in good form, but Leicester, they could definitely cause a good shake up today. And I'm tipping a real good game.
Well, now we said that it's going to be 0-0, but I agree with you about Rodgers. Rodgers reminds me of that boss you have, at work, who rides your ass. But come Christmas party, when he has a few beers, he cuts a bit loose, and you see a different side of him.
Yeah, spot on. He seems like the type of boss you love working for, but it's going to be tough, but you get out what you put in with him, I think. And you're right, he does look like he'd be a bit loose. I like that.
He just doesn't he?
Yeah, having said that, I mean, they just got the table up now, and Leicester in 12th. I mean, they'd be disappointed with their season so far, sitting 12th. But yeah, I still think they play some good football.
You can't beat it. We've got Big Corey in chat. You'd be happy to see the Aussies going down. You wouldn't have Fazz. I've got to say, I kind of was happy about Tim Payne, but then I thought of it, and it just means that you're going to bring in someone who can actually play and bat. So it was like a catch-22. Like, I did laugh at first because obviously the Poms have got their own scandal at the moment.
Yes.
And then when Australia joined the party, I did have a chuckle, but then realised this probably means someone else is coming in who probably has a batting average of 70 or something. So, yeah, it was happy for a bit, and then I was sad.
Well, look, Corey, there's this vicious rumor going around, and I don't know if it's because I'm with you, Pom, but everyone thinks I'm an England supporter. I don't know where this vicious rumors come from, but no, I'm Aussie through and through, especially in the Ashes. To me, it was more just the shock of Tim Payne was the good guy, the guy you'd want your daughter to bring home, clean skin, and it blew me away. If I would have had 13 guesses on an Australian player, and he would have been the last one.
I was going to say, it did shock me as well. When I heard there was a sexting scandal, it was Tim Payne. And I was like, what's he done? Like not said thank you when they've done the Uber order or something.
It's bizarre. But to put your mind at ease, I'm a massive follower of the Shield cricket as well, and we don't have a wicketkeeper going around averaging anywhere near 70, so don't stress too much.
It's all right. I've already made some bold calls that Poms are going to whitewash this. So,
that'd be good.
There's people coming. We've got my favourite guy in chat, Eric Shun. I haven't fallen for it this time, but quality banter. Get bend over, the wing back from Atlanta. Good. Hey, I'm a veteran at this now. You've got to get up pretty early to get me with that. Rafi's in chat. G'day, Pom and Fazz. G'day to you.
G'day.
We got Luke James, the big Tuck Miller fan. He'll come in and bat at 7 and keep. That's it. Corey Bennington, I heard Fazz was the one who leaked Payne's pick to give the Poms one up.
Yeah, again, look, nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. I do find it quite funny how something that was pretty hidden for 4 years just happens to come out on the eve of the Ashes. But anyway,
I'll tell you what, like, part of me hopes he'll play, just because can you imagine the banter from the Barmy Army?
man, oh man, I tell you what, you would pay double to have Stump Mike on when he's batting, to just have Cam. Oh, seriously, you'd almost have your own channel on KO saying Tim Payne Cam or whatever, like, and just it would be a hits bonanza. I'd love it.
Mate, you can't beat it. Rafi, what's happening to Tim Payne? Yeah, he sent a dick pic. Long story short, he sent a dick pic. If you read the chat exchange on The Age, it's not funny because obviously he's sending a dick pic to a member of staff, but the way he words it has got to be one of the funniest ways. I did have a chuckle because I would say his sex game is probably a bit like his batting average. It's not really impressive.
Yeah, you can tell he's not the type of bloke who's done it many times.
Mate, honestly, it blanked my head. Mitch Horay, I wouldn't doubt that for a second. Faz very milk. So we've learned this chat that Faz might be Australian, but he's joining the blue side for the Ashes. So
yeah,
welcome aboard, mate.
Oh, gee whiz. I don't know. The way I played today, maybe I might get a gig. Who knows?
Well, we should do an Ashes live stream, I think.
Yeah, that'd be good fun.
Do you know what I mean?
Plenty of beers, though, just quietly.
Yeah, we'll get some beers. We'll get some chants guide. We'll enjoy that. So what's our predictions? Chat, and I'll ask you first, Faz. Leicester, Chelsea. What are we guessing here?
Well, we spoke about earlier how we think it's going to be a good game, so naturally it'll probably be a 0-0. I think Leicester will put up a fight, but I'm feeling Chelsea 2-1.
Yeah, I think Chelsea. I think it's going to be tight, and then the last 10 minutes, Chelsea are going to take the piss. So yeah. I think Corey. I'm going to go with Big Corey here. He looks like a man of integrity. 3-1. I think that's. He looks like he's wearing two hats in his profile, so I'd never go against someone wearing two hats.
He's awfully chirpy now. Awfully chirpy, Corey. He's an Arsenal fan. Didn't hear from him about 10 weeks ago or whatever, or now Arsenal just knocking on the door of Champions League. Settle down.
Champions League team, mate. I tell you, I'd be chirpy as well. What are your thoughts on Stevie Gerrard?
Oh man.
I don't know. I'm thankful for him. Like, I am thankful because I think he's won the most important title in the beloved history of the Gers. But it is a bit shit that he's left to go to Villa. Like, I'm no disrespect to Villa, but you can't tell me Villa are a bigger pull than Rangers. You can't. If that's happened, that is mind-boggling. But we have got Gio, and Gio was one of my favourite players growing up. So we're all right. We're all right. But I wish him well. I do think he's a bit of a dog that 2 days before he left, he did the press conference of, do I look happy?
Let's call a spade a spade. It's Aston Villa, no disrespect, but it's a pit stop. He's pit stopping his way. Jurgen Klopp's probably got a couple of seasons left at Liverpool. Yeah, he's pit stopping his way at Aston Villa. He'll have a couple of successful seasons by their standards, and he'll just mosey on into that Liverpool job. So, yeah.
I think it shows you the one-dimensionalness of the EPL. Because I said this last year when we were fighting for the title. If Gerrard wins it, he'd have to win a Europa at Rangers for Liverpool to even entertain him. I was like, he has to manage in the Premier League. Like, has to. Because I can't imagine Liverpool, if he stayed, say, another 2 years, won 3 SPFLs, won a couple of Scottish Cups, maybe did well in Europe, they wouldn't touch him because that would always be there. Do you know what I mean? That it's Scotland. It's a 2-club league. So I understand it, but I just think leaving mid-year stinks.
It does.
Stinks.
It does. And I think, look, let's not oversell it or anything. I mean, it's not like Aston Villa are. I mean, they're no guaranteed to have a successful season. They were playing very poorly under Dean Smith. I mean, is Stevie Gerrard just going to come in and change their fortunes like that? I don't know. I mean, who knows? But it is like any managerial job. It is a risk because if he fails at Villa, well, then he's got to almost go back to square one. I think another big story in it is Frank Lampard rejecting the chance to go to Norwich, and rightfully so, because he'd ruin his managerial career because Sir Alex himself, I don't think could save Norwich, to be honest. And now Dean Smith's gone from Villa to Norwich. I don't know. It's
that is banter. One team struggling picks up another string. You remember that lovely lady in chat last week who said the problem with the Premier League is the same coaches get recycled? There's case in point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Aston Villa sacked Dean Smith because they weren't going well. Norwich were rooted to the bottom of the ladder, win their first game, and then sack their manager for a bloke who, it's bizarre.
Cost me $50 that did as well. My mate is a mad canary, and we had a £30 bet, me and my mate in the UK, because he's a Norwich fan, and he got intel that it was Dean Smith.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck off, is it Dean Smith? And he was adamant, and he was like, 30, we'll buy a slab on it, and could not believe it when Dean Smith was unveiled.
And then obviously the other one that occurred in that time was Eddie Howe to Newcastle. So
that's a good get, but he's got COVID at the moment, so we can't really judge him. He's got COVID, but Corey says he never doubted Arteta. I do actually remember this, and I'll back you in there, Corey. You didn't. And you're bearing the fruits of your labour, my friend. Fruits of your labour.
Yeah. Braver man than I.
Yeah. Who else saw the Rangers map? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, she's famous. A few Rangers fans are on her OnlyFans. I'm not confirming or denying I'm on it, but I do know that there's a few pictures knocking around the Rangers forums. Beachy, good day to you. He's got 2-0 Chelsea. Rafi says Klopp will leave somewhere late 2022. Yeah, I think it will be about there. I've got a feeling, though, I'll say this about Gerrard. You watch Villa, they have no problem in the forward half. It's down back. And I'll say something about Gerrard. The way he plays, you are very rigid at the back. You are very, very free-flowing as well. So I think, don't hold me to this, Villa fans, but I think he could fix, looking at Villa, I reckon it'd take him 2 games to get him to play the style he wants. And it is a good style, and it's going to pain me. But I think Villa will finish top half with Gerrard.
Yeah, look, and they're definitely one of those watch this space teams. They always are when a new manager goes in. You want to just check the subtle differences that they make. And Villa now become an interesting team to watch all of a sudden because of a new manager. So
they'll be good. Corey's got a great point here. Wayne Rooney sticking fat at Derby. I love this, though. I love this because I actually think it's a great career move because if they're shit, this is a free hit, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a free hit. If they go down, he's going to be regarded as a hero. He's going to go up, really. It'll do his career good because he's learning the hard way. And I like Wayne Rooney. I like Wazza. He talks like a manager. And I think he's working wonders at Derby, considering that they've got like 11 players on their books.
Yeah, well, speaking of scandals before, look no further than Mr. Wayne Rooney. But
he loves a scandal.
But yeah, look, I agree with Corey. It's a brave move, and I think a great move for him, and just shows the quality of the person as well. And I think I think that they play some good football, Derby. They just obviously with their financial situations and obviously their point deductions and all that, it is a free hit. It is a free hit. And maybe for someone like Dean Smith at Norwich, does that become a free hit for him now this season? But I don't know.
I think it's a weird one. I think Dean Smith's a weird one. Derby should have gone for that wonderful Czechoslovakian manager, Ice Voller Come. Great. He's a great Czechoslovakian manager. As the game's about to kick off, we've got. I love it, Erection. I love it. But we've taken the knee, and we're off here at. We're at Liverpool. I mean, we're at Leicester. We're at Liverpool. We're at Leicester.
That would be an odd situation, but yes, we are at Leicester. So, no, good stuff. And Chelsea in the Borussia Dortmund like kit.
It is a horrible kit. I've got to say, just straight off the bat.
Yeah, it's not great.
I don't rate it. I don't rate it.
No, it's not one of the best ones, but no, look, be interesting. But I mentioned before with Lukeman starting. I mean, I mustn't been paying attention because I completely missed that how Lukeman went to Leicester. Is it on loan? Is it on a full transfer?
I think it's a loan till the end of the year from memory.
Yeah. Because he was on loan at Fulham last season, wasn't he?
Well, I mean, he's one of the weird anomalies, isn't he? An Englishman in Germany who's not playing, who's been loaned back. So, like genuinely, for some reason, English players do really well in Germany, which English people haven't done well in Germany since 1945. So, it's nice to see. It's nice to see.
Yeah, well, I think you got Sancho there as well, or like coming from Germany, and it's a couple of young English players, but interesting.
Rafi says if United play badly against Watford, Ollie goes. Brendan Bolton goes in. Probably do a bad job. If Ollie loses to Watford and he's there, I make a promise to chat. I'll sack him myself. Legit. Like I'm already done with him. But if we lose to Watford, I'm done. Like I'm done.
And I think that's the risk that happens now is obviously United have Watford. You're gonna beat Watford. There's no question. So that's fine. But then you got Chelsea, you got Arsenal, and then Palace after that. So really, I mean,
that could be one win, 3 losses.
Yeah, it could easily be. But you're right. If I don't think simply beating Watford is enough. I think the performance needs to be there.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you. I mean, I think that's the problem. Even when we've won, it's not been convincingly, but for some reason it buys him time. It buys him time. Every time he wins, it buys that 2 or 3 game spurt.
We've lived it supporting Carlton, that those wins that paper cover the cracks, and you spend the whole week thinking, oh, maybe we're not that bad, or maybe it's starting to change. And the leopard never changes its spots, as they say. And
it doesn't. Well, I mean, Chelsea having a lot of the ball as you expect already in the opening 3 minutes, aren't they? They're controlling it pretty well.
Yeah.
And here's a chance. He's got the finish there of a man on death row, but great quickly taken free kick. They had a free kick just behind halfway, and that's the wonderful Yank, isn't it? Pulisic, isn't it? Who's nearly broken the crossbar.
There was a chance, and honestly, I don't want to be too harsh, but it's probably should be 1-0, to be fair.
Oh, that finish was horrific. For those not watching, he is left of centre of goal, got the entire goal to aim at, and it needs a new lick of paint. Corey's predicted Emil Smith Rowe. He has been sensational this year.
He, I do remember Corey all the way back at the start of the season, saying Emil Smith Rowe was going to have a breakout season, and England's squad and all that. So well done, Corey. While you're at it, can you predict what's going to happen to Declan Rice? So
You know, I actually saw about Declan Rice today, an article that Real Madrid are interested in
Yeah,
bringing Declan Rice, Haaland, and Mbappe over.
yeah.
I
Of
was
course they
like,
are.
Jesus, for a club that's got no money, evidently they're spending large.
Yeah, for a club that's got no money, they certainly have a lot of money.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my mate's a massive York City fan, and they're like on the precipice of being broke. As Leicester are away here, Vardy's done his little running into a channel. Oh, tell you what, that's the first time I've seen Chelsea being cut apart.
Yeah, and it was good defensive work from Rudiger there, just to
Tell you
cut in
what,
that cross.
Rudiger probably playing as one of the best centre backs in the world at the moment.
Yeah, he's in form. He is in form.
Tell you what, you've got to see in the opening 5 minutes how Chelsea have had a lot of the ball, but Leicester don't look phased, do they? Quite often when we
Nah.
watch teams who are possession based, the other team looks phased, but they're quite relaxed.
They look good. They look good. Both, yeah, exactly how I expected it. Both teams are looking really good. I don't want to jinx it and say that it looks like there's going to be goals in it, but it looks like there's going to be goals in it. So we know what that
Both
means.
giving it a go.
Yes, yeah.
Tell you what, Chelsea though, like under Tuchel, they play such good football. What a ball!
Oh, Jesus! The first 6 minutes we've had some action. Cut across the box. Schmeichel just gets his hand out. But yeah, look, I was about to say that before. Like Chelsea under Tuchel, like he's changed it to him from the moment he walked in. Actually, last season? He's changed them, and they're gone from probably a disappointment to genuine title contenders.
I always thought when they sat Lampard, it was a bit stiff, but I'll tell you what, he didn't take long, like you say, to implement the changes, and they suddenly started to play some really good football.
Well, I think that they need to be the blueprint or the poster for United, saying, look what can happen if you sack a manager and get the right bloke in.
It's going to be interesting to see what Spurs do, I think, this week, as Kante dances through. What a ball! Oh.
Yeah, the Spurs, I don't know, interesting playing against Leeds, a defensive setup versus an attacking setup. That'll be an interesting game in itself. You could already see the impact that Conte's had there already.
Well, I mean, Rafi's just talking about that. He's banned mayonnaise. To be fair, if you get on the Tottenham YouTube, there's the opening couple of days of Conte's reign. That guy is something else. Like his level of meticulous detail is something else. Like if I was a Spurs fan, which I'm not, I'd be very excited.
Yeah, and look, if I was a Spurs fan, which I couldn't be further from, yeah, I agree. I'd be up and about, which incidentally brings me down a bit, but but no, yeah. Look, you can already see the impact he's had straight away, and you know, I wonder if he's the type of person that has the ability to be able to keep Harry Kane and the likes.
Well, if you're Harry Kane, surely, you want him to stick around. At least for this season. I mean, I thought he was gone at January, Kane, but I think now he's going to stick around at least till the end of the year to assess the landscape with Conte.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, the January window is such an interesting window this time around. A lot of teams going to try and improve. But as we know, you don't get bang for your buck in January. So I'm very intrigued this window, because it is tight at the top. Anyone's in it. What are these teams going to do to improve? And then I look at it even a little bit lower than that. Lingard looks almost certain to go back to West Ham. Yeah, it's fascinating. I'm very much looking forward to this window. I couldn't predict what's going to happen.
There's one for you. Would you take Bilic back
over David Moyes? Look, I'm trying to work out the best way to answer this question. I don't know if I'd take my wife over David Moyes, to be honest. if I come home and I caught David Moyes in bed with my wife, I wouldn't know which side of the bed to get in, to be honest. Like so yeah, the simple answer, no, I would not.
Well, we appreciate your honesty. Solid.
I
But
love
no,
that man.
I agree.
I
I
love
think
that man.
Moyes is the man, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, you want to talk about meticulous detail and just, David Moyes is everything you want in a manager for I'd say a mid to low table club to take him to that next level, which is exactly what West Ham are doing. So, no, I love that man.
Mate, he's playing got you guys up and about as the ball comes in, and
Oof.
tell you what, it's just the final third has been piss from Chelsea.
Yeah, it has.
But
it's just begging for a goal. I think once a goal hits, the floodgates might open, to be honest.
Both sides have had chances. I mean, you'd argue they're just showing the replay of Vardy's cross.
Yeah,
if he dug that a little bit harder, that may have got in.
Yeah, defensively, Rudiger was awesome.
Kante is one of my favourite players.
Mate, he's absolutely bossing it, absolutely bossing the midfield at the moment. And what a career! We could sit here and talk about him all day, about where he came from, what he's done, and what he's doing. He's superb, absolutely superb. One of my all-time favourite players to watch.
It's just his effort, isn't it? Like, you just love to see that effort from him.
Oh yeah, and you know what? And he looks and sounds like a really nice guy as well. Just
he does, man. Like, he seems such a good, humble bloke. Rafi's got some breaking news.
No, she's actually working tonight. So if she is eavesdropping on me, get back to work.
Let's hope she's not watching like on a lunch break or something.
True.
Well, Chelsea have had the best of it this last 2 minutes, and they just can't break Leicester down. But they are encamped.
No, they're looking good.
Encamped is a good phrase. Really good.
Yeah.
Oh, he's Mason Mount. I thought Mason Mount was out this game. Didn't he have I'm pretty sure they said that he had a cold Wednesday, because I laughed and was like, imagine missing a game because you got a cold.
Mate, well, it's unprecedented times, isn't it?
Well, I said, can you just imagine like being COVID tested and it's a cold and you still have the audacity not to turn up?
Yeah.
Like now we've got a super virus around. Colds are kind of inconsequential now, aren't they?
Yeah. No, it's true. You see it in my workplace quite a bit. You got a sniffle or a sore throat, you got to take 2 days off work to get a COVID test. So
I've got to say, the worst thing in the world, I think, at the moment, is sneezing or coughing in a checkout situation.
Yeah, nah, because people look at you like you got the plague.
Yeah. Mate, honestly, I love doing it. Just, especially if you're just behind someone, give it a
moves the line a bit quicker.
Well, quite often they just let you go first, which is nice. I always think.
Corner to Chelsea, which is good. Once they take this corner, I wanted to just talk about the I wouldn't say the resurgence, but in my opinion, out of nowhere from Chabala, just coming out of nowhere.
He's been given the upper, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Good ball, and there it is. Oh. It's my boy Rudiger.
And you were worried that you didn't have him.
I've gone full Chelsea in my backline in fantasy, and Rudiger is there, and he scored the first. Great little header, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the ball was absolutely magnificent. The ball was superb, and the header was just as good. It was a blueprint of how you want a corner to be taken. Absolutely magnificent. No one's marking him though.
I'll tell you what, I've got to say as well. As a centre forward, I know you were a defender, but they're probably one of the hardest headers, aren't they? When you're jumping away from the ball.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, it could have gone anywhere.
He's nailed that, hasn't he? Look.
Yeah. That's a gorgeous header. Absolutely
and
gorgeous.
Goal assist as well. So if you like Pom and you've got these two in your team,
you're a happy man.
Double points, great start to fantasy.
Yes, and again, Zonal marking comes back to haunt. I don't know, it's not rocket science. He's the biggest bloke out there. You put someone on him. Just
It is
call
one
me
of
old
them weird
fashioned.
things, isn't it? That the zone has so many benefits in all sports, but in them kind of pressure situations, you always want to see man on man, don't you?
Just grab a bit of shirt and sit on him. Like I'm call me old fashioned, but it's just it's just not the way you defend a corner. But anyway, it's 1-0, and you can't say it wasn't coming. But Leicester, over to you. What do you got?
Well, big Tim Wilkes is spot on there. Big goal. Thoughts on Darcy Lang? Probably the same as one of my exes. Bit shit. To be honest. Bit shit. Better off without him.
He does pop. He pops up occasionally on these shows, but old Darcy Lang. My thoughts on him is I don't spare a thought for him. There you go.
He's well loved, is Darcy. Well, we were just talking just before that goal of Chelsea. They've given a lot of opportunities to the younger players, haven't they, as well, under Thomas?
Yeah.
He's not been like a lot of the foreign managers who buy players in.
Well,
he's really worked on the list, hasn't he?
They have the most extensive list of young players out on loan. I mean, they could make 4 different teams with the young players they got on loan. At some point, you got to give them a go, and he's given them a go, and it's just reaping the rewards. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, it's quite weird as well when you look at Chelsea, because I always remember the first years of Abramovich, and it was like pure foreign 11. But they've really got a real good English core as well to this side as well, haven't they?
Yeah, and even coming off the bench, with Ross Barkley and stuff, they've got
he needed to. Tell you what, he's selfish there. Reece James was in more space.
Yeah.
That's in between Clive Palmer's ears. I tell you, he was in that much space.
He wouldn't want to see that one over again.
Oh, that's just pure selfishness. That I mean, that was Havertz, wasn't it? And Havertz is evidently unfavoured at the moment by Thomas. So I think that was a clear sign of score, save my career.
Yeah, it's a simple pass out. Although they've got another corner here. Let's see if Leicester's learnt anything. Oh, look, zonal marking. Here we go. Couple of blokes being
coming straight back in. Oh, tell you what, it was.
Yeah.
Tell you what, Rafi wants to know about Finbar Dwyer, the man, the myth, the legend, the GOAT. Yeah, I think we should. We need more gingers on the list.
Yeah, look, Finbar. Tell you what, far be it from me to question someone who benefits from being the best mate of a list manager's, best mate of the son of a list manager. But I can think of no other reason why he ended up on the list other than he spent a few nights at the Savani's house when he was in high school with Ben, and he seemed like a good kid.
Mate, I tell you, no, I'm with you. And Man United not going well. They're not going well. And this is what we were talking about earlier. If you look at Chelsea, their improvement, this is what can happen. Like, I think the problem United have got is stick around too long, it becomes ingrained.
Yep. Spot on. We mentioned that before. Chelsea are the blueprint of what it could be if you pull the pin at the right time.
And I think a lot of Chelsea as well, and I think Chelsea fans would agree with this as well, that there's a lot to thank Lampard for, because when Lampard came in, they were obviously in that transfer ban. He really focused on the youth there as well. He gave Tammy Abraham chances. A lot of the players started to come through, which I think has really given Tuchel a good base, because a lot of these players are game bred now.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, I was surprised when Chelsea sold Tammy Abraham. I guess he probably wanted first team football and he didn't think he was going to get it with Lukaku coming in. I'm not sure. And who else? I mean, they sold Kurt Zuma. Probably he was probably third or fourth choice centre back. So really, the players who Lampard did give a go and all that, some stuck around, some haven't, but this is definitely a Tuchel team now, that's for sure.
They play so good football as well. Like, just watching this opening 20 minutes, their ability to control and press is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's in my opinion. Well, I did see Liverpool drop points 2 weeks ago, but I think Chelsea probably the best team in it at the moment.
I think
Yeah.
they'll win it. It pains me to
Mm.
say it. As I've said that, they've
Oh.
just lost possession but recovered it
Oh.
very quickly.
Jeez, it was almost the curse.
I
But,
nearly did it. Sorry, Chelsea fans out there. Nearly caused it.
but speaking of Liverpool, I mean, yes, like obviously it's no secret that I was up and about when West Ham got the points over them. But I'm liking Arsenal to beat them. I'm really liking Arsenal to beat them. I see a few kinks in their armor at the moment. They look beatable, and Arsenal are in great form. So I think if Chelsea get the 3 points here, Liverpool drop more points. I just think you're starting to think, or maybe just maybe this Chelsea team could go all the way.
I'm with you. I mean, I look at Arsenal this weekend. Would I be surprised if Arsenal win? No, I think when you look at the blueprint, oh, that's a horrific foul.
Oof.
They've got free kick edge of the area, Chelsea. But I think if you look at the blueprint of what's beaten Liverpool, you look at Bissouma the other week. Rice controlled that midfield and just stopped any balls coming through against Liverpool. They've got Thomas Partey, Arsenal. So I think a lot's going to come on Partey's shoulders. I wouldn't be surprised, though, because you've got so much pace at Arsenal that the counter is on. But I do think Liverpool will win this weekend. But I wouldn't be shocked if Arsenal got the win.
Look, it's far be it from me to be a fence sitter, but it is one of those games where I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal get the points, but also wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool do them 4-0. So it's,
I think they'll be hungry.
Yeah.
I think United. I think Liverpool will be hungry to win.
You know, one of the things you see for a team that the appearance that they're under the pump is the excuses that come out or the complaints or whatever it is, and as a free kick goes over the bar. And I think after the West Ham loss, Liverpool, they were just full of excuses, just full of, the first goal was a free kick, or it should have been a penalty, and all this. Like they were just you're just whinging, and I think that's generally the first sign of a manager or a team who can start feeling the. And there's no reason for Liverpool to feel that, by the way. I mean, they're still in fantastic form, but like I said, I'm just starting to feel and see a few chinks in their armor at the moment, and it starts with the way they're speaking in the media. And after the West Ham game, it was honestly my 4-year-old has less tantrums than what Klopp had in the media directly after the West Ham game. Seriously.
He was upset with the tackle, wasn't he, first and foremost?
The Cresswell tackle. Yeah, look.
Which I've got to say I really thoroughly enjoyed, to be honest.
Look, I didn't think he tackled it hard enough, to be honest. But but no, it was good. Yeah, and look, I mean, that's probably out of all the things he complained about, that was probably the one that, okay, I can see where you're coming from. But the first goal and all that, man, what are you playing at? And Mo Salah diving on, I don't know. It just
I think what Klopp's finding out, and I think what Liverpool are finding out is, I know Klopp's had a lot in the last couple of years about fans and the fan interaction, and last year that was a big thing Klopp played. They missed the fans, and I think they're actually seeing it can work the other way as well. It is a pressure cooker when you're away, and I do think they look very susceptible away from home. For some reason, they don't look as strong away as they do at Anfield.
It's a great point, and I think for a lot of fans, non-Liverpool fans, you get the fixture at the start of the season, you think, who would I really love to beat? And
it's Vardy.
He goes Vardy. Look at him.
He has just lost that yard of play. So,
what
a ball! What a goal!
Oh, my goodness.
Off that, but it is off.
It is. I want to check it on VAR, but yeah.
I want to see that again, though, please, ref. But
it's a beautiful ball. But Vardy
lost that
again.
yard, though, hasn't he, Vardy?
Yeah, 3 seasons ago, he was home and hose. Let's have a look at this.
That's
He's well
heartbreaking.
off.
Great. Tell you what, though, your boy, he steps up brilliantly there.
Yeah. It's yeah, that was brilliant bit of play from defensively, brilliant ball. It's a shame that he was offside, but overall not too bad. But yeah, with what you're
I'm
saying
ranked
about
2 this week, Luke. Ranked 2. I didn't get Mbappe though because the game Canadians hate bombs. It's a rip, mate.
Yeah, with what you're saying about with Klopp, I think you're spot on. And Liverpool saying that that's who you want to beat. You want to beat Liverpool. To me, it's Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool. Tottenham first. I always want to beat them. Then it's Arsenal, Liverpool equal. You just always want to beat Liverpool. So as fans, when you go to the game, you're like, this is our grand final. You've just beaten Liverpool, which shows the respect, obviously, for them as a football club. But the fans would be brilliant away. So,
well, Tim agrees with you, and I think the biggest challenge you see in all sports is Liverpool came from like a decade of really nothingness. Yeah, they won. I know Liverpool fans always say they were relevant. They won the Champions League, which there's an argument there. But I think your Liverpool
shit argument.
No, but I think the Liverpool. Well, if they're honest with themselves, they wanted to be the best in England as well.
Yeah.
And I think they're struggling to adapt that they're no longer chasing. They are the hunted now.
Yeah.
And I think that's very hard to switch your mindset because everyone is waiting for Liverpool to fail now.
Yes, correct. And everyone's wanting them to fail. Everyone's against them. Everyone's, so, and you're right. And oh God, I can't believe these words are going to come out of my mouth, but comparing them to the likes of Carlton, which makes me sick just to even do that. But anyway, I think that a similar situation could occur with Carlton if they ever to pull their fingers out and come good. Of that, it is very hard to switch your mindset of we're the chasers, we're hunting down everyone else, overall irrelevant, no one cares about, to being, everyone wants to beat you. I think West Ham are going through something similar. Usually West Ham's everybody's second team. Everyone's, I like West Ham. Fans are good. They're good to watch. Blah, blah. But a few more weeks and people start saying, "Fucking West Ham, nah, pack of pricks." We. So, but it's just the reality. But you're right. It is hard to change that mindset. And I think the Liverpool fans are struggling, and their first reaction to it is to whinge. That just seems to be their first reaction.
It's interesting though because they've dropped points, and so have all the other teams around them, which I think makes it look less worse.
Yes,
as Kante. Oh, that is one of the best goals you will see for a guy that has a shot on him. Like, that's not very good. That was a finish and a half. He's gone messy there.
Yeah, that was full on. That was well, he's just burst through the middle. He's taken on. Well, he's had all the space in the world, hasn't he? He hasn't really taken on anyone. No one closed him down, and they
just stood off him, didn't they? Like, he kept coming.
Yeah,
great goal.
That's a ripper finish. But I still question, what are the Leicester defenders doing? Just letting him come at him, but that's a ripper finish.
Well, Johnny Evans, he had no one really to worry about. He should have closed that space down. What a finish.
2-0. Well, we're going to see what Leicester's about now. Because this, I'm not being funny, this has the hallmarks of an absolute drubbing at the moment.
Well, I mean, if you're Rodgers, you're hoping that Tuchel keeps his word and he just likes to go 2-0 up and then just sit back and enjoy the afternoon. But I'll say one thing. At the start of the show, I said that Rodgers was my choice for the United manager. He is showing the credentials right now that he could just walk in and do the same job, which is...
status quo would be set.
Which is good to see. It's good to see.
Yeah. Consistency is key. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But this is what we talk about as well when managers changing teams and what have you seen from Rodgers that makes you think he could do it at a United? I don't know. Like, it's fascinating because if he goes, say, leaves Leicester and goes to United and then is successful, then he proves he's a manager that relies on a budget or relies on having good players around. Where you look on the other way with Dean Smith going from Villa to Norwich. I mean, what's he proving to himself or to anything? Just going from one struggling team to another. Yeah, I don't actually think Brendan Rodgers will go to United. I don't know. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I don't feel it at the moment.
I'm scared who we might get. I mean, to answer your question, what I see, I just look at Leicester and I think he's taken them as far as he can take them. I think his style, for me, I enjoy it genuinely, but I just don't think Leicester can attract the players that take the game style to the next level. I think, like, when I watch this Leicester side, I can see what it's trying to do. And, like, they're missing some big players today. They're missing Tealsman, who I think holds the ship, runs the show for them. But, what a horrible... Tell you what, he's lucky there that Chelsea has the first touch of an offender there. That was an horrific first touch.
Yeah, that was should be 3-0. What's he doing? But the pass from Schmeichel was bad, but the first touch was even worse.
That first touch, honestly, is legit one of them that needs a mandate against it. Needs to be a mandate against that first touch. Timmy Wilk says, thanks your mother for the rabbits. I'm guessing that's in reference to the wonderful goal. Kante running up like Raheem Sterling, but finishing like it. That was. It was. And Rafi, can us two start a podcast for the roundup of each match day in the EPL? We can do that.
Oh, mate. Time is everything, is that?
mate, the fans want more of you, Fazzy.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, well, it's they should meet me in person. They might want less, but yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm sporting a very popular figure at the moment.
There you are. Look at him. I mean, he's a cricket hero, EPL legend. Got it all.
And only a couple more weeks of this bad boy too. So,
what's the missus think of the Mo?
She's happy that there's only a couple more weeks to go. To put it that way.
Right.
My daughter loves it.
Well done.
Yeah, my daughter loves it, but the missus not. She's
I'd imagine though, like when you were bowling today, people started thinking it was Mitch Johnson had come back.
Yeah, look, I won't lie that that did get thrown around a bit. That I've bowled much better this season than I did last season already, and it's got the the mustache. So look, a couple more weeks. If I bowl well again next week and the week after, maybe it has to stay. I don't know. We'll see.
Mate, you might have to, bro. You might have to. Tim also votes for the podcast. Look at this. Say, look, unanimous now, mate. Unanimous. You're going to get roped into it. Look, I'm happy to do it. We can do a recap. I mean, I know Fazz is like me. He has no sleep on a weekend and watches as many games as possible.
That's pretty much it. That's what I do.
Like, I'm already looking at Monday at work, and United are playing 4:30 on the Sunday.
Yeah,
and I know I'm going to be ruined on Monday morning.
Well, I'm very lucky because my boss is a soccer fan as well, or a football fan, and so when I do rock up, so it was the Monday when West Ham beat Liverpool on that Monday morning. I rocked up and I was obviously a bit green around the gills, and he was all for it. He was very happy. He's an Arsenal fan, and he's all for it. So I'm very lucky there. Some people, my colleagues, don't understand. Why would you get up for that? Why? You don't get it. If you don't get it, you don't get it. There's no point explaining.
Well, it's not so bad as well, is it? Like getting up at 4:30 if your side win at 7 in the morning. It's worse when you get up at 4:30 and then you've got to spend all Monday handling the fact that you lost with no sleep.
Yeah. Mate, I was walking in like Conor McGregor Monday morning when we beat Liverpool. I walked in and, mate, I was untouchable. But yeah, you're right. It's a tough gig when they lose. But as far as the people wanting a bit more of me, Tim Tim, I speak to on Twitter sometimes and that, but look, I do cause a bit of a ruckus on Twitter, so I'm not too sure I'm the most popular figure on Twitter sometimes. But anyway,
mate, this is what it's all about. We love a controversial subject. We do
Yeah.
love it. I made a controversial subject today talking about people getting turned away who weren't double vaxxed at office works. And it turned into something I didn't want it to be because I'm double vaxxed and genuinely I don't care. I just thought, literally, I was at the Werribee office works and I counted 31 people got turned away.
Yeah.
And I was the only one who was allowed in. And it was the most surreal experience of my life. Like, it was so random.
Yeah, look, I've learned very quickly not to post anything COVID related on Twitter.
And I didn't think before I posted it. It was just an innocuous statement that I was stood there at Twitter and I was like, "Oh, tweet this because this is weird. This, do you know what I mean? Like, can't believe I'm being asked proof. It was like being a 16 again at the nightclub. I was nervous."
Oh, mate, I tell you, all right, I'll tell you something. I do like a bit of banter, and I do like to get stuck into, to some teams. North Melbourne's is my team at the moment. I like to sink the boots into for whatever reason, and I did make a comment about them having 3 fans or whatever. I tell you what, I made that comment on would have been Monday or something. I'm still getting buried for it today. It just won't go away.
There's nothing better when you drop a Twitter comment about another club and everyone comes in on you.
Oh, mate, well, because I dropped it when they released their new jumper, which looks like absolute shit, to be honest. And that's what I said. I said, I'm sure their 3 fans will be excited about this jumper, something like that. Man, oh man, I'm getting absolutely buried, and this bloke just keeps coming at me. And then when they announced debt free, he re-tagged me in this comment that I made, like, not bad for a club debt free. I'm like, mate, what are you talking about? I don't know.
Mate, there's nothing better than aggravating someone on Twitter. I like going on the Celtic Twitter every so often. You can have a bit of a laugh there. There's a meme going round of Ange with tits, and someone superimposed him. And honestly, if you drop that in a Celtic forum, it is quality. Like, if you want hate, I advise everyone to do it. It's good value. We got NG saying we're going to get better. Tell you what, I do not want to play Chelsea.
If they're playing like this, for sure.
Like, I don't want to play Chelsea. I don't even want to play Arsenal, really, either.
Oh, look, they're looking good. And even Tuchel's done exactly what he said he would and what he says he does. They've gone 2-0 up, and now they're just enjoying their football. To be honest, they're just passing the ball around. But on the Twitter thing last one, I'll have my phone sitting there in the kitchen or something, and it'll just be like, zzz, 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 and my missus will say, "Oh, what have you done now? Or what have you said now?" And it's just go zzz, zzz, zzz.
Mate, there's nothing better. You people take life too serious, I think.
Oh, yeah, exactly right. And that's the thing. Anyone who actually talks to me for 5 seconds would know I'm not a bad guy. I don't mean 90% of things I say, especially on Twitter.
That was a simple header, but Kante is determined to stop Havertz scoring, I think, this game.
Yes, that was not great, but I wouldn't be surprised if the ball was out, to be honest.
Mate, there's nothing better. We've got Rafi, thoughts on Liam Jones, round 1 in the bag for us. You say that as a Richmond fan, but you haven't seen Lewis Young. Like, Lewis Young, some people claim is the second coming of Matthew Scarlett. So look out.
Yeah, look, we don't want to turn this into something that it's not, but the Liam Jones situation is a delicate situation. And as the great Jose Mourinho, as he once said, I prefer not to speak. If I speak, I'll get in trouble.
Tell you what, it's good value. It's good value.
Yeah.
Tim asks, what are Leicester supporters like? Well, they're a bit like North Melbourne fans. There's only 3 of them now. Like that, there was a few of them a couple of years ago, but they've gone back to supporting the big 4 clubs now. So don't worry. Say what you want to them.
Yeah, not too many Leicester fans be tuning in. The game's on too late for them.
Do you know what I mean? It's weird actually because I was in Australia obviously when Leicester won the league title, and there's a lot of like rumours that foreign people support successful sides, and I'd never seen a Leicester shirt. And I went to university in Birmingham, so that's in the Midlands, and Birmingham isn't too far away from Leicester. It's quite a Midland area, but I don't think I recall ever seeing a Leicester shirt. And I came to Australia, and when they won it, I actually saw Leicester shirts on nights out, and I'm like, hang about, hang about.
Hey, no one loves a bandwagon like Australians.
I was like, hang about. You're not a Leicester fan.
But that's the thing. Honestly, for me as a lifelong football fan, and my in-laws, wouldn't know football if it hit him in the face and stuff like that. They're massive Aussie rules fans and that, but they don't follow the world game and everything. The hardest part about Leicester winning the league was trying to explain to people what it meant, Leicester winning the league. And I actually got sick of it by the end of it. It was literally 6 months of, Fazz, give me an example of in the AFL. And I'm like, how? I don't know. Gold Coast. I don't know. It was just, I just got sick of it. It
would be like Gold Coast winning it. It would be like literally Gold Coast winning it.
But I actually just got sick of trying to explain to people what it was actually, who don't understand. Similarly, I always get sick of explaining to people why I used to get excited by a 0-0 draw against Chelsea or something.
That is hard to explain. I understand it from this perspective, Australia to England, because obviously, you guys are shocked when you have a score draw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Australians are like, oh my God, there's a draw? And I'm like, there's about 6 of them a week in the UK, mate. So don't get that excited. But try to explain to them, £50, 90 minutes, no goals.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I've just learned the hard way that if someone don't get it, then there's just no point even trying to explain it. It's just, I've been in many arguments with as I'll call them, and I'm sure none of them are listening to the white bogans at work. The footy Aussie rule bogans, country folk. I've been in many staff room arguments about the world game and stuff, and I'm just like, can't I just like both? But nah, you're a pussy, you're this, you're that. It's just, come on. If you don't get it, you don't get it.
Mate, you can't beat it. NG, Twitter running mad this week once Arsenal overtake Liverpool. Tell you what, that is weird with the league table. That I was actually chatting to my Arsenal mate the other day about this, that 6 weeks ago people were saying that there's a chance they get relegated. 6 weeks later, they could be above Liverpool.
Yes, and I play cricket with an Arsenal support. In fact, I feel like I've said it about 3 or 4 times now. How many Arsenal supporters do I know, for God's sake? So I play cricket with an Arsenal supporter. I said, mate, last time I spoke to you, Arsenal were just above Norwich, and it was Arsenal played Norwich in the bottom of the table clash. And now, bloody hell, talk about a quick turnaround.
Mate, they do very well. They do very well. Rafi wants to know who Young is. Don't worry, mate. You'll find out soon enough when he's got Tom Lynch in his back pocket. Like the mug he is. Mitch Hoare wants to know. Leave us white bogans from work alone.
I do. I threw that one out there. I'm glad you're listening, Mitch. You know you're not one of them, but you know who I'm talking about. That's what's important.
A little bit of bait there. I'll rate it. Yeah. I'll rate a bit of bait.
Love Mitch.
Well, we got the last 2 minutes of this half, so probably a good time. What do Liverpool after? I mean, what do Leicester keep saying? Liverpool, they're in my head.
Yeah,
Liverpool are in my head now.
Yeah, rent free.
What do Leicester have to change?
I was looking at their bench, see if they've got anything worth it on there.
You're good at this of giving me a bench option.
Let's have a look. Nick. I was about to say Nick. James Maddison off the bench is the obvious one. Iheanacho, Maddison, Iheanacho, or Perez, maybe all three. They haven't done a lot wrong, to be honest. Poor defense of the corner and a Kante worldie. I mean, I still think they'll create their chances, but the key is to make sure that there's another big free kick on the edge of the box.
That is, if you're a free kick taker, this is a dream.
Yeah, it's a beautiful spot for it. So I just think, Maddison, Iheanacho, and Perez off the bench. Even Patson Daka, he's in absolute mint form in the Europas. So they've got options, but they've just got to be able to create their chances a little bit more. It sounds a bit silly, but I'd be thinking about maybe trying to change to a front two. The wingers, Barnes and Lukeman aren't really troubling Chelsea at the moment, so I'd try and revert to maybe a front two. They do play three at the back, Leicester, so you're able to try. You can bring in that front two, whether it be bringing on Daka to support Vardy, but they've got to find a spot for Maddison in there. So I'd be going Daka and Vardy together, Maddison just behind him, and stay as usual. That's what I'd be doing.
Yeah, I think they're definitely struggling just in the centre, aren't they, as well? Like, they are missing Sealsman. You can see that they are missing 100%. A little bit of hustle and bustle in the middle of the park, because Chelsea seem to be walking through their centre as if there's no one there. Yeah,
and I think, they are missing that strong player in the midfield, but I think they're also missing the creativity in that Maddison offers as well. I mean, he's the type of bloke who can just pull a goal out of nowhere.
Well, I mean, they're definitely going to need that at half time. Beachy ass, am I charging Liverpool? Mate, I should do. Mate, honestly, they've got me flustered.
I was living in a few Liverpool fans' heads during the last couple of weeks. I'll tell you right now, good times.
Mate, I tell you what, it was good to watch. I did think of you, Fazz, when West Ham were making Liverpool look third rate.
Yeah, the neighbours weren't thanking me, but it was brilliant.
And we're back to probably the last 30 seconds now, but it's going to be 2-0 Chelsea at half time. A lot to do, isn't there, for Leicester? A lot to think about.
Yeah, and honestly, I can see this ending 2-0, to be honest. We know how Tuchel plays. He'll be happy with it. He'll sit back. But I'll tell you what, if Leicester are able to nick a goal back, which I think they could be game on in the second half. But like I said, they need to make those changes. Daka or Iheanacho and Maddison on. And I think that'll change it up a bit. But Chelsea,
it's going to be interesting because
different class, Chelsea.
I think you always won that catch-22 as the halftime whistle blows with Chelsea. That when they are in cruise control, if you happen to pull one back, they do seem to then go into their fifth gear, don't they? To almost punish you for having the audacity to challenge them.
How dare you? Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. So no, I think we had a bit of everything in that half. Kante's goal will be replayed time and time again this week, I'm sure. And yeah, it'll be interesting. But I don't know. These at home, you'd be disappointed if you were Leicester.
Well, I mean, I think the Rudiger goal has to be one where they look at it, and that's more of a defensive lapse, isn't it? More of a defensive lapse. Like, you'd imagine Rodgers will analyse that and say that's training ground stuff. But and the Kante one, really, even though it was a great finish, Evans closes him down a little bit better. He wouldn't have got that shot away.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem in itself. He just got all the time in the world, all the space in the world. I don't know what Evans is doing, but he still took a good finish. And before you know, it's 2-0, and I did make the comment saying this has the hallmarks of a drubbing, but Chelsea just sat back then and just absorbed the pressure and got to half time.
Well, I mean, an interesting one because, I mean, obviously there's nothing worse than being at half-time when you would say it's probably a bit harsh on Leicester. Like we say, though, 2 defensive lapses, really, and punished. But they did have chances going the other end, didn't they? You had the offside goal that was ruled out. Vardy couldn't get the cross perfectly timed to Lookman in the first couple of minutes. So they have had chances. And like you say, if a Maddison comes on, we know Daka, like you said, he can't stop scoring in Europe. A bit of pace, I think, is missing up forward for him.
Yeah, no, for sure. So look, they've got the options on the bench, and as far as Chelsea go, I think they just go business as usual. I don't think they need to do much.
I think they are backing us up, though, aren't they? We did say Chelsea were the best side in the league.
Yeah.
And I think they're proving why we think that. Because they have really, apart from them 2 chances we mentioned, not really looked threatened, have they?
Nah. It's been a comfortable game. Yeah, I wouldn't be feeling nervous too much if I was a Chelsea supporter. So
and good if you're a fantasy owner of Rudiger and Chilwell.
Very
they
good.
Are going well. Good. I need to check what they're on because
Chilwell's having a great season again.
I'm playing my good mate this week as well in this, and it's what I like to say. Chilwell on 4, Rudiger on 7 at half time.
Yeah, very nice.
Like that.
Very nice.
And they are 2 players he hasn't got in his team as well, so it's a great start.
that is a great result. So I guess at half time, there's not much to talk about here. So what are your thoughts for the other games? I know you've obviously done your tips this week, which I liked. I was very, very impressed with some of your tips. But tonight's 2:00 games. Obviously, you got Watford United. I'll be tuning into the Wolves West Ham game. But yeah, there's not too many other than that, the games that are exciting, the 2:00 games, and then the big one at 4:30, Liverpool and Arsenal. So what are your thoughts with those ones?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm looking at it and I'm trying to work out where I'll be. But I mean, obviously I'll be watching the Watford United game. I'll be keeping an eye out though on the Villa Brighton game for obvious reasons. But I think that's, if I was paying money and I wasn't watching United after this, I reckon the Villa Brighton game is a tasty game.
Oh, very. And because Brighton are actually playing some bloody good football at the moment. So, yeah. And as I mentioned before, any team that's got a new manager, you just, you want it, you just want to check it.
I think there's some great games, though, like the Newcastle-Brentford. Like Newcastle, they are threatening, I think, to put something together. We're obviously kind of waiting, aren't we? Like, November just needs to get out of the way. So does December, so we can get into January to see what Newcastle are going to do. But it is getting to a stage with Newcastle. If they don't start winning soon, relegation has got to start being on their mind.
I am so intrigued by them. They actually, I'll answer that question in a second. Just have a look at total attempts, 0 shots on goal for Leicester that half. That's not great. Yeah, look, Nick, I am so intrigued by what Newcastle are going to do in January. You're reading lots of stuff and you're seeing lots of rumours. They're going to throw money here, they're going to throw money there. But, I've always been a big believer in, and West Ham are proving it, to be honest. It depends what type of players you bring in. You can't just throw money and all of a sudden your problems go away. Because at the end of the day, and apologies to Newcastle fans, but the only reason a player will go to Newcastle is for nothing other than money. That's the only reason. And when your motivation is money, do you have it in you to fight in that 93rd minute when you need an equaliser or a winner? Do you have it in you to get your hands dirty? When your only motivation is money, do you train harder? Don't mind if you get an injury here or there, you're getting the big dollars anyway. So I think that's a trap that West Ham fell into, signing Felipe Anderson, Sebastian Aller, even Yarmolenko on big money. And they just don't have the ticker when they come to these clubs on big money because the reputation's not there or whatever it is. I worry for Newcastle fans, and I speak openly and honestly, it's not going to fix like that in January just because you throw money at blokes.
Mate, I think you've nailed it. I think when I look, what I think for Newcastle, and I've got a soft spot for Newcastle. I've never really hated them.
No, yeah.
But I think if you look at their fixtures from now till January, they're 18th now. They're 3 points away from the next best team, which is Burnley. They play Burnley, incidentally, first week of December. But you look at their fixtures, they've got Brentford this week at home, Arsenal away, Norwich at home, Burnley at home. So they'd be looking at that. I think they need to win the Norwich and Burnley game because after that, they've got Leicester away, Liverpool away, City, United, and Everton.
Jesus.
And I think that if I was Newcastle, I'd be looking at that Norwich game and that Burnley game and saying, can we get out of the bottom three?
Before that.
So when we're in January, we can go out and look for players and say, look, we're in a relegation scrap, but it's now in our hands. And we believe you're the guy that can get us safe. Because if they're where they are now, and let's just say they don't win a game from now till January, they could be bottom, if not bottom two. And then you're in the conversation of damage limitation. And does a player want to go, even like you say, for the wrong reasons? They might get paid 100K a week. But do they want to go and play championship next year?
No, exactly right. So I think it's dangerous times for Newcastle fans. They've had that little injection of excitement, which is fantastic for them. And I wish them no ill. You know, I love Newcastle and their fans. But, you know, it's getting real ugly, real serious. And look, my old man was always the big believer. He's instilled this in me. He's always a big believer in you check goal difference, and generally, regardless of points, the teams with the worst goal difference tend to go down. Obviously, that goes without saying because you keep losing games, but he always believes in the trend. So, you know, after 10 games, 20 games, 30 games, you look at the goal difference and you think, well, that they're in trouble. And I think this works in that situation because they've got a minus 12 goal difference after 11 games. It's the second worst in the league, and they're sitting second bottom. I mean, they need to turn that around.
I think what scares me about them as well, and I think this is a big thing for, like, if I was looking at them, is I think if you actually look, like, their goals for as well. Do you know what I mean? They're not they're hemorrhaging goals at the other end, but they're about bang average for goals scored, 12 goals. Yeah. So it's not like if I look at that table now, I'm looking at teams that are struggling there, but I'm looking at Villa, particularly there, who are another team that are probably on the precipice. I'm looking at Watford. The goals they've scored are around the goals they've lost. So they've got a really good argument as a team to say, well, you know what? If you had that shot and it had gone in, there's a point. We're now 17th. If you had that goal and it had gone in, we won that 1-0, there's 3 points. There's a great argument they can have, them teams around them, saying, well, we've scored nearly as much as we've conceded. So if luck went the other way, we sort this out. For Newcastle, like you say, that goal difference is saying we have to double our scoring or half our goals.
Yeah, and they've got a heavy reliance on Callum Wilson, obviously. But, I mean, to look at that, you know, I'm looking at the table right now, and that big fat 0 in the wins column after 11 games, to not have a win, that must be demoralising to them. And I was actually speaking to a Leeds fan the other day, and then they asked me and said, "Oh, you know, what do you think of Leeds?" And other than saying, "Well, I can't stand them," I said, "Look, Leeds are going to be one of those teams who are going to be very lucky that you've basically got 3 terrible teams." And I think there's going to be a few teams: Leeds, Villa, Watford, Brentford, possibly even Southampton. They're going to be lucky because, well, Norwich are going to get relegated, I would have thought. And I tell you what, if Newcastle don't pull their finger out, then the bottom 2 are already sorted. And it's just, you're going to have 6 teams fighting for that last spot. And I can't see Burnley going down, even though they're not looking great, you know, 1 win. But I use the whole goal difference rule that the old man taught me. And, you know, -6 only one win and -6. It shows that they're still able to. They're only just losing, you know. So
Well, I think the scary thing for Newcastle as well is one thing that St James's Park, even when they're shit, is a tough place to go. But just checking the stats now, -6 goal difference is the second worst in the league, just at home as well. So the old adage, if you don't win any home games,
you're in trouble.
yeah, and you look at the home games of the teams around them, it's not crash up, but it's alarmingly better than Newcastle. So they haven't even got that feeling of, well, at least at home, your Uniteds, your Chelseas, they're going to have to fight. This season, it's shown if you're a good side and you go to St James's Park, it's a walk up 3 points.
Yeah, and I think that so West Ham played them in the opening round of the season, and we won 4-2 at St James Park. And I remember just saying, I think Newcastle will get relegated. I remember saying those exact words, and people were just like, "Oh, it's one game. There's still so many to go." And I said, but I just didn't like what I saw. I mean, I know they scored 2, but I did not rate anything I saw from them in that first game. There was nothing exciting about them. There's nothing new about them. And yeah, like the proof's been in the pudding at the moment. Eddie Howe's got a big job. There's no question. Eddie Howe has a massive job.
I'm with you. I think they made 2 mistakes. I think one, obviously, they didn't know they were going to be a multi-billionaire side. But I do think the Steve Bruce going into the season was one mistake. Yeah. And I also think they needed to get 2 strikers into the club. I think Cal Wilson's great. He scored 4 goals this year. He's their top goal scorer. Saint Maxim, he scored 2. But outside of that, they've got a host of guys on 1 goal. And that, to me, I thought that last year. I thought they lack a striker there. And I think they want Maxim to be out wide, cutting back inside. And a lot of reliance, like you say, on Cal Wilson. And I don't think he's the type of one-man striker player.
No. He's not going to score. He's not going to score them enough goals to get him safe. But look, I like Callum Wilson. I hate him when he plays West Ham because he just scores against us for fun, even when he was at Bournemouth. But I like the cut of his jib. I like what how he goes about it. But yeah, they need someone else there as the prophecy, as I called before. Here comes Maddison.
You called it.
Easy game, this.
It's easy, It's easy. Talking about them, if you were Newcastle, I'd be looking at someone like Dominic Solanke. I wonder if the Bournemouth link with Howe comes into play. I wonder if he looks, because he's one of the leading scorers in the Championship. I look at Mitrovic as well. He's scoring for banter.
Yeah,
like I do think that I would be signing players now with a mind, if we do go down, they're going to be there. But also, if we stay up, they're still serviceable. So I think your Solanke and your Mitrovic, I think they are young players who have got Premier League ability.
Yeah, look, I couldn't agree more. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be targeting the Championship. Every player in the Championship wants to play in the Premier League, whether it's the bottom team or whatever. Target the Championship, those types of players. But I'd also be looking at the actual Premier League too. Norwich, can they raid that? Can they raid that corpse? Max Aarons, someone like that. Can they get a few from there? Even is there a couple of fringe players at other clubs? What can they do? But yeah, I agree. I'd be definitely targeting the Championship. That's for sure. As Leicester, the introduction of Maddison has just
tell you what, we should be Premier League managers.
Easy as this game. But
don't know what Rodgers and Ollie are doing. It's easy, this.
Yeah, but like I said, I think Oh, and actually Ian Archer came on too. So I called it both. Ian Archer for Lukeman, Madison for Barnes. Oh my goodness. I just said the wingers, Barnes and Lukeman were doing nothing. Ian Archer, Madison, come on. This is
No,
the
I agree.
quality content you get.
I agree with you as well about the corpses of other teams, because you think as well, like Norwich know they're going down, don't they?
Yep. Yep.
So, like, you're asking the question to Max Aarons, do you want to go down with a club that's got no budget? Or do you want to go down with us and we can buy your top level tech? We'll bounce back in a year.
Yeah. 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 And I guess there's always that understanding from a player if they do go to Newcastle that at some point they'll come good because they got the money. But I just think I would just hold fire just at the moment, Newcastle fans. You're not going to be playing Champions League football next season or anything like that. So, but yeah, I think, in Newcastle, I'll be looking at players like, could they convince a Gallagher, to come across? Is Gallagher going to get games at Chelsea? After his loan spell at Leicester, could they convince him to come across? Something like that. But it'd be interesting. I'm very intrigued.
Gallagher. I agree. I mean, I'd be looking at Lingard. I'd be looking at Van der Beek.
Yeah.
I'd be looking at players that probably aren't getting the chances at the top clubs as well, like that you'd say. I mean, a good one for me as well, and no one talks about him, is Diego Jota at Liverpool. In and out of the side. Do you have a sniff and say, look, you'll be the main man here?
Yeah, and I think that's a great point. Those players who aren't getting a sniff, and there's always we talk about buying. In January, there's always the option of loaning players. So you can say that, hey, just come to us, get us up with an option to buy should we survive. So you could sell that to the likes of Donny, Van der Beek, and Jota. Say, come to us on loan. We'll have an obligation to buy should we survive. If we get relegated, then thanks for your service, and you can go back to your club. I think that's the way to do it.
Be interesting to say. I mean, back to this game, Leicester have come out, haven't they? They've come out. This is what I like about Rodgers. You can see there's a little bit of spring in the step. They're attacking the ball hard. It's good to see.
Yeah, well, they obviously value what he says. And I think that's important.
I'm a big fan of Rodgers.
Yeah. Oh, look, I like him too. Yeah. I hope my comments earlier didn't make people think I didn't like him. I just thought, what do we see in him? But
no, I'm with you. I think it's a valid thing. But I mean, I just think he's one of the managers that to me always looks like every club's a stopgap to get the big four.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he was actually one of my first choices before we got Moyes back. I was hoping we'd try and be able to get Rodgers, but alas, I'm very happy with Moyes.
Well, we've heard that earlier in the show. And Dynamic Hypnotic, Shitty City, boo. Are you referring to Man City or Leicester City?
Yeah.
Because I agree on both, for what it's worth.
Yeah. Anything with City in it, except for Melbourne City, who I incidentally support in the A-League. But yeah.
What is everyone in chats and Fazz's thoughts on Paramount Plus?
Look, the one thing that I have developed a skill in my life is the ability to talk my wife into getting yet another subscription for yet another thing that she is not interested in. I tell you what, I could talk down a terrorist the way I'm able to convince her to allow me yet another subscription for something she doesn't care about at all. It's like, look, babe, there's plenty of shows on there for you. I wouldn't have a clue what's on there. All I know is the A-League's on there, and I've got it. But yeah, me and my mate, we had a few beers a couple of weeks ago actually, and just before jumping on here, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna get the A-League thing. So we signed up and we combined our names, first names and surnames, to make an account, and we paid. Oh man! And now I'm like, I was trying to log in. I'm like, what the fuck was our name again? I couldn't even remember what we did. But no, look, it's the way of the world, isn't it? This streaming stuff. But the fact that I've got to have, Optus for the Premier League, Paramount for the A-League, Stan for the Euro, it's just getting a bit out of control at the moment. So
I've got to say, I don't know about anyone else in the audience. I'm a bit like Fazz. I have become the master at negotiating to my wife. Like the Stan was easy because it worked
yeah,
out like $5 to have Stan Sport.
yeah, that
So
was easy.
like I just proper sold her with the
Mm.
kids shows.
Yeah,
That because the issue I had with my wife is I dropped the Foxtel subscription down,
yeah.
right? And so she was like, okay, we're saving money. And she worked out the other day when I purchased Paramount, we're now paying like $30 more,
Yeah.
which
Well, that's the
which
thing.
stung me.
Yeah, we dropped Foxtel altogether, and you know, you got KO and everything, but it's just another subscription. Look, you got to be smart about it. I mean, I bum off my sister-in-law's Netflix. I bum off my dad's Stan. My mate's Binge, and then he bums off my Stan or whatever. No, bums off my Optus Sports or whatever. So it's just about being clever. You know, you got to share with your friends. The minute the streaming services start saying no, only one login per sign up, the whole world will go nuts, I reckon.
It is crazy because I've got one of my mates bums off my Stan Sports and another one of my mates bums off my Optus. So it is good value, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
that convo in the boys' chat. Anyone got an account?
Yeah, it was actually happened last night when we were watching the City game. A few mates were just like at the Melbourne City Brisbane Raw, and they does anyone have a Paramount? I said, yeah, I do. Sorry, mate, I've already got someone else using it. So stiff. Better luck next week.
Chance here for Chelsea.
Oh, it's
Good bit of skill.
save.
Oh, Chilwell, we need you to knock them in, mate. You're in the fantasy side.
That's a good save, though.
I need that going top bins.
Yeah.
It's a great ball in. Hudson, Oddie, nice little bit of trickery.
Oof.
And you don't often see people lay the ball off anymore.
No,
at the elite level.
no. That's a good save because it came off the defender too. So
it's tough, but it is another corner, and we do know that.
Yeah.
They've looked a bit shaky, haven't they? But it's all right. Cresswell's, I mean, Chilwell's not got his cross boot on.
I was just about to say that the two most informed left backs in the league, Cresswell and Chilwell.
Oh, they are. And the crisis. But I'll tell you what. One thing I have noticed is Leicester playing with a lot more impetus.
Yeah. They look good. They look good. They've come out with a little bit of fire, and I think they've put Chelsea back on their back foot, and exactly how you called it before. Once again, quality content we provide. With now Chelsea are looking to say, okay, now we've got to go up a gear. They'll put a couple more in the net, and then it's game over. But I think the introduction, dare I say it, of Maddison and has been superb.
Oh, what a horrible throw-in! And again, tell you what, I have noticed it's a modern Premier League thing, but honestly, wingers nowadays cannot finish.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Hudson Odoi there had the power of my 6-year-old.
Yeah, could not agree. They just and that's why the likes of what makes a Jesse Lingard such a valuable player to any team.
With a little bit of J-Lings.
Yeah. He how does he do his thing? I can't even do it. I don't know. But
it's that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. He can finish, and he's a winger who can finish. Can play multiple positions, and that's why those types of players are so important to any team that they go to. Because the ability to finish as a winger is just dwindling.
I agree with you. I mean, he's a player I'd imagine there's going to be a lot of interest about in January because it's become public now that he's not happy and that he doesn't want to hang around.
Yeah. I think
it's interesting because I haven't seen the team. I don't think the team's been announced yet, but the talk in the UK is Van der Beek and Lingard are starting today.
Wow.
Which is super exciting. And that's what's led to the rumours that Ollie's been given his marching orders and the reason he's confirmed they're starting is because the new coach wants to see them before he takes the job.
Jesus, that's fair play to Ollie. If my boss has said that to me, I don't know if I'd stick around, to be honest.
Well, I think he's got to do it anyway. Like, I think if it's not rumours, the players he's playing aren't working. Like, and Van der Beek is what, $30 million worth of talent just sat there?
I love him. I rate him very highly. Very highly.
Well, you see, I said it the other day. If you actually put him on the transfer market, I bet you have about 40 clubs.
Oh, for sure.
And I bet a couple of them clubs are better than United.
Yeah, I know, for sure. See, I would take... I don't want to lose Declan Rice, but I would take Van der Beek in any deal that involved Declan Rice, for sure.
Well, I mean, the way you're going at the moment, Fazz, you might get Van der Beek and keep Rice.
Yeah. Well, that'd be the dream.
Well, I mean, tell you what, great hustle here from Leicester, and we're starting to see Chelsea clear their lines, hit big long balls. They're feeling a bit of this press. This is what's interesting about Rodgers. He's almost like he blows a whistle, and they become like a little bull to a red rag. Yeah,
not wrong.
Oh, tell you what, Fazz, you talked about Maddison can score a goal out of nothing. He has just turned around and hit that out of nothing.
As he hit that, I thought, I haven't done it, have I?
Imagine if Maddison did it. Andrew asked how the game's going. It's still 2-0 Chelsea, but Leicester, after Fazz's predictions, starting to make it come true.
Yeah, no, I'm mildly happy with myself.
But, I'll tell you, Maddison's in everything, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a bloody good player. Destined for bigger and better things, I think.
I love the fact he looks like a popular football in the early noughties. He's got the hair.
Yeah. He's, to me, I think he's got Arsenal written all over him. You know, I just think he looks like a type of player that would go there.
Yeah, it's interesting. A couple of years ago, tell you what, Mendy took a chance there. Maddison was linked with United a couple of years ago, and he gives me a little bit of Paul Scholes vibes.
Good call.
You know, he drops in that little hole, pings the passes. He seems to be in every pass.
Yeah. He's runs your engine room, you know, at the more an attacking way. Yeah, no, that's a good call. Just on Mendy, did you see the absolute debacle I can't remember which website or newspaper it was.
Oh, the Sun, where they put him instead of
they put a picture of him instead of Benjamin Mendy. Mate, I tell you what, there'd be one hefty lawsuit coming there. I tell you that right now.
I did see that. My mate is a Chelsea fan, and he was having a hell of a rant about all the Poms are racist.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And I'm like, come on, mate. I was like, probably the guy who's wrote that article doesn't know who Mendy is. And I was like, he's probably Googled Mendy. I just gone.
Oh, that looks like him. Yeah,
it makes sense. Makes sense. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't think there's anything in it, but it is kind of embarrassing, isn't it? Kind of embarrassing when you commentate on the football and you get the wrong Mendy.
No, ridiculous.
I enjoyed. Did you see the Kyle Walker interview where they were talking about Mendy?
And
it was obvious it was about Benjamin Mendy, but the reporter asked him about Furlan Mendy at Real Madrid.
Yeah,
and he just played total naive about a court case.
Yeah.
And I was like, quality from him.
No,
Andrew's trying to stay away from the United game and the Arsenal game. The United game I'm fine with because that's in an hour. The Arsenal game I may miss. I'll be honest.
Look, it's a big stretch to pull up to about 6:30 when the kids get out of bed at about 7:30. So yeah,
I want to, But I
Yeah.
also like watching it tomorrow morning with breakfast on
Yeah.
replay and not know the results.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Hudson
Oh.
Odoi heard that wingers can't finish, and he's beaten 3 players, and it's a whisker from 3-0.
It's a good strike. But
But the problem is, I know so many Arsenal and Liverpool fans, there is no way, because I'm in a couple of football chats with my mates,
impossible.
guaranteed I will wake up to 78 messages and
Yeah.
I'll see a blow-by-blow of that game because they'll be getting stuck into each other. So
Yeah.
there's no way I can watch that with no results.
Very, very hard for a game like that to be able to get up and watch the replay without any, or just rewatch the game without any form of knowing what's going on. Very hard.
But I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to the United
Yeah.
Watford game because it's
Yeah.
3 points locked away. Fazz has guaranteed it.
Yeah, well, yeah, stamp of approval. I think so. But
So if
look,
we lose 1-0, it's all Fazz.
mate, I tell you what, I hope no one knows where I live because they'll be coming after me. But no, I look, if West Ham weren't playing tonight, I'd probably go have a quick kip after this game and then get up for the United, for the Liverpool Arsenal game. But no, I'll obviously be watching the West Ham game, and then yeah, it's all about managing your naps. I had a quick nap at 8:30 today in preparation for this, and yeah, that's what it's all about.
I've got to say, there's been some quite luck because the other week when I got up for the 5 o'clock fixture, as luck would have it, when my son woke up, he had tummy ache. So I snuck him into bed for. Oh! I tell you what, they're trying.
That got me up and about. Jeez Louise, what a save.
What a strike as well. Look, from Amati. I'm a big fan of Amati as well.
Yeah, I like him.
But he has hit that with some venom, hasn't he? But yeah, like I was saying, my son got a bit of gastro, so by the afternoon I could have a little nanites, which was nice.
Yeah, and that look, that's the hardest part. It's not too bad getting up in the morning, but you hit about that midday mark, and you're like, it's going to be a long afternoon.
Especially
of playing.
if your kids want to do something.
Yeah. Well, like I've got a 4-year-old, and it's a long afternoon of cubby house and trampoline. So
they're like, Dad, why aren't you excitable? And you're like, I stayed up late last night watching the round ball.
Yeah. Although I will bless her little soul. Bit of a ritual every Sunday morning is we watch the goals over breakfast. So, and so she has been getting up Sundays. She goes, "Oh, can we watch the goals? Can we watch the goals?" So that's the first step in a very productive initiation.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing. Oh, Vardy free header into next year.
Oof.
He would have wanted to do better there. Madison has put it in. Honestly, as a centre forward, you would run up and lick Madison's face for that ball.
Yeah, you've got to get that on target.
Again, though, that's the same header that we saw from Rudiger. Just you're ahead of it; it's behind you. Is tough, but you'd expect a man of Vardy's class to put that away.
Do a bit better.
I'm just saying, Pom would have put that into the top corner. Would have been down in the corner flag by now, celebrating.
Yeah, definitely. Man of your talents. Who got carded then?
I think it was Mendy for taking time.
Jesus, I didn't think he took that long, did he? Yeah.
And Tuchel's going mental. Absolutely. Tell you what, that's a stiff call, that, because Leicester were away there.
Yeah. I think he went down a bit easy. Let's have a look.
You know what I love about Jamie Vardy is he genuinely looks like a normal lad, doesn't he, Jamie Vardy?
Oh, he's gonna balloon out once his career's finished. You just see a player.
You just know that he has a dart at half time.
Oh, he's a man's man. You just know he's going to be. He'll be knees deep in a pint. So,
you can just tell though Vardy has a dart at half time. Like Rodgers is coming in and going, right, gather round, boys. Where's Jamie? And Jamie's out the back, just having a quick dart with the security.
Yeah. Oh dear.
In his full kit.
But I just love him. He just, like I said, it's the same. Well, you don't see too many round ball football players balloon out, but it's just like when you watch the AFL and you look at a bloke, mate, you are going to have a real tough life after footy. You're going to be a big man after footy. Dale Thomas, for example, Big Daisy, mate, talk about a fall from grace. He is a big, big man now after footy's finished for him.
And don't blame him though, do you? It's a tough career for him.
No way, mate. And but geez, you love a drink. And I think Jamie Vardy, he loves a drink, and good on him.
I think Jamie Vardy's a big lad. I remember Jamie Vardy 2010. It was before I came here. Mate of mine, shout out to you, Big Callum. He is the world's biggest Halifax fan, and I went to go and see. I think it was Halifax York, and Vardy was playing for Halifax then, and was pure pace. It's a great story from non-league to top of the Premier League.
Yeah.
You don't hear it, do you, much?
No. And I think that's, I think there's stories that need to be celebrated a bit more. The players that come from non-league.
I'll tell you what, this is Chelsea at their best. They are...
Ooh. How's that not 3-0?
No one dealt with that ball. Ziyech has dribbled one in. That was probably the best cross I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Leicester again just switched. It's Johnny Evans again as well. Just not dealt with that ball. Just expected it to go to the keeper. And if Pulisic wasn't American, probably 3-0.
And I'm thinking, you're not going to do it in this game, but I'm thinking Vestergaard probably has to start on over Evans.
He's just looked a little bit behind the 8 ball today, hasn't he?
Yeah, he does. He hasn't looked great at all.
He's gone full Harry Maguire.
Full Harry Maguire. How was his celebration when he scored for England?
Well, I was on a high this weekend because obviously my mighty Scotland were world beaters this weekend. I tell you, beat Denmark, Israel, honestly, World Cup bound. But I did get the updates on that game, and I have laid into a few of my mates about it because Harry Maguire, what a disgrace! Scores against Postman, and he's giving it large.
Yeah. It was not great to see, to be honest.
It's classic, though. It's classic Harry Maguire. He scored against 7 of that 11. I think are unemployed. Had to leave the game at halftime to sign on.
Yeah, they've all got work the next day.
And Harry's giving it large that he scored a header from 5 yards out.
Yes, it just reminds me that back in the day playing the best line ever, when someone goes in for a harsh tackle, come on, mate, we've all got work on Monday. All right, let's keep our feet. And that just reminds me of that.
Yeah, you know what Harry Maguire reminds me of is, and it's weird because there was 2 Daves, right? When I played footy in the UK, I remember I used to play for my pub team was Pitwick, and we were managed by Dave Maguire, and there was Dave Miggins, right? Yeah. And they were the 2 Daves, and they were the best mates. And Dave Maguire, incidentally, was one of them people that, when he scored a goal, you knew you were hearing about it. He remembered every goal, and he could give you a replay. Now, I remember we were playing Scholars, right? there was another pub, and he got the ball, and he was a little chubby cunt, right? And he got the ball on the halfway line, and it was a piss wet day. And he's like stumbled with the ball and wrong-footed the midfielder, right? And he's just kind of waddled and kept, oh, it's a goal. Pull a 6 offside, is he? No, it's a goal.
3-0.
Cross came in, and it's a tap in. Ziyech gets the assist. That was probably the worst goal ever.
And that's probably game, to be honest. Well, look,
yeah, but I remember Harry. So Dave Maguire's got the ball in the middle, right, and he's like just waddled, right. And I remember he's taken this touch, and it's gone like 2 yards too far. He's never catching it, but the centre back has kind of slipped, and the ball's come straight back at him, and it's hit his shin and looped over the keeper. It was like a 30-yard screamer, right? And literally everyone in our team went, fucking hell, because we knew he was going to make this goal, so it's not. And no joke, in the pub, that goal got further and further away. He rebanned it top bins by about 4 a.m. But that's who Harry Maguire reminds me of. Like, in the dressing room, he's made that goal a lot better than it is.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to lie. Oh, geez. What's happening here? I've got a story for you. We'll just see what's happening. Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah, so I'm not going to lie, today after cricket, a few beers in the club rooms afterwards, the story of the broken bail did get, by the end of it, it was about 140 kilometre, had the batsman in all sorts and, stumps going everywhere. The reality was it was just a stock standard ball, and the bloke tried to hit it out of the park and missed it and knocked the bail off and broke. I think the bail broke when it hit the ground more than when the ball hit it. But
mate,
you know what?
You've got to want a bit of mayo. I
had a 30-kilometre wind behind me. I was streaming down, and
mate, I think every goal I've ever scored has been at least 5 yards further back than from where it initially was.
Of course.
Damn it. If I've had a tap in on the line, I've taken my shot at the penalty spot. Mate.
Oh, look, one of my goals, in fact, two of my goals very few goals I've scored as a centre back was we were up for a corner. It was a shocking corner, comes in, and I was up there, and their centre back, their right back was on the post, and he had the ball, and instead of clearing it, he tries to pass it to his centre back, who indirectly hit him because he didn't expect the pass, and it just fell to me and went in. And that turned into a absolute, what a poacher's goal, and read the play well, and it just happened. It fell to me. And then another one was, I was streaming, for whatever reason, I was streaming out, and it wasn't a corner or anything, but I was up the ground where the striker should be. I think we must have had a corner. The ball got cleared, and we were still playing, and I was up the ground, and this long ball gets kicked, and I'm like, I'm not going to get this. And then we see left back and centre back, bang, bang, Fazz is in. What's going on here? But it was just left back and centre back. We're both looking at the ball, cleaned each other up, ended up having a one-on-one, and just taps it home. And that became a, took on two blokes and rounded the keeper. So,
mate, there's nothing better. We've all scored a ridiculous goal. And made it a bit better. We've all made it. Pommy, have you ever lived like the Trainspotting movie? No. I've never swam down a toilet, I don't think. I've been in some states, though, I have to say. I've been in some states. Yeah. Never quite. I remember one goal I scored, which is probably my best goal, which my mates will say, which is where the referee is now, edge of the area. And I remember the ball coming in from the right wing, low, and the centre-back nipped the back of my foot with his boot as I was running to it. So I was pissed off, and I've just swung my right foot through it. And it was no words of an exaggeration. It was like the Wayne Rooney goal against Newcastle in the connection off my foot. Yeah, I've never hit a ball that sweet. Honestly, I remember Henri saying when you lace a ball properly, you don't feel it. I actually thought I air-shotted it. And it was that clean. And it's literally dipped last minute, top bins. It was the best goal, probably one of 3 goals I've ever scored outside of the area. Mate. And I dined out on that for about 8 years.
Well, speaking of when you kick the ball like that, I got yellow carded once for a clearance, coming over the centre and clear, and I just timed it beautifully. I ended up kicking it 3 pitches away, and the ref thought I did it on purpose. I said, mate, I just timed that perfectly. He yellow cards me. What? You can't yellow card someone for clearing the ball, but that's in the time where you actually have to go and get the ball. So I know exactly when you just hit it beautifully. Oh shit, that went a bit further than I thought.
Mate, I can remember it, and I can remember being asked at the end of the game, like, "Did you try that?" And you have to say yes. But honestly, I just swung my boot at it because I was going to turn around and lamp the centre back.
Well, it's at my old club, the Mitchell Rangers, just a local club, club grade level. They built a new ground. We used to play on this crappy ground. They built this new ground, and in the lead up to the first game, we kept talking about who was going to score the first goal, who's going to score the first goal on our new pitch. And I guess you can guess where this story is going. And we had a wonderful strike. I think he scored banged in goals, 20, 30 goals. It was just a ridiculous strike. And I guess you can guess who was the first ever goal scorer on our new pitch. The gangly centre back who goes up there and gets the dirtiest tap in from a corner. And it's almost as ridiculous. They actually try not to count it as the first ever goal because they think they can't have a centre back scoring the first ever goal at the new ground. So that was good times.
Mate, you've got to love a centre back scoring.
It's the best.
You've got to love it. Pommy, do you think you'll sit with the... I'll probably sit with the cheer squad. Big Shannon. I might sit with her, who I was on with the AFLW show the other day. I might have a few beers with them. Will Cherrett and Williams finish top 5? Yes.
Yeah, I think so. When
we win the flag.
Big season for Zachy Williams. Big season.
Mate, we're winning the flag next year. We're going to do a Leicester.
Why not? That's my mantra. Why not?
And Corey Durden will be our Jamie Vardy.
Corey Durden, not bad.
He's going to be running, just over the back, finding them pockets of space.
I love that. Yeah, no, look, I'm very much looking forward to the upcoming season. Always gets a bit quiet this time of year. Carlton won the trade period as usual. And yeah, the draft coming up, not much to get excited about, having a pick, late 20s. Hopefully they can pick up a good player with that pick. But I'm also really intrigued to see what they do to try and replace Liam Jones. Is there any experienced players out there that they could pick up for a season? I know Hartley had been delisted, so maybe he's an option. People have been talking about Daniel Talia. I know he's out for the season, so I don't see why you'd pick him up if he's going to be out for the season. So I'm intrigued by what Carlton do next in that Liam Jones situation, but I can see Cherrett and Williams finishing top 5, that's for sure.
I'm always shocked that people don't watch the round ball because, there is nothing going on in the AFL. The AFL media get bored this time of year and start writing nonsensical stories. Like Patrick Dangerfield caught a tuna.
Yeah.
Couldn't give a shit, mate. Couldn't give a shit.
Yeah, as a fisherman, you're a good footballer. So
one of my mates is a Geelong fan, and he actually posted that in our AFL group. It was oh, look at Big Danger, and I'm like, he's caught a fish, mate. Who cares?
Yeah.
If that's getting you excited for 2022,
just because he's caught a fish. Yeah.
Oh, it's another assist. Tell me that counts.
He's offside, I reckon.
Oh, come on. Think of the Ponds fantasy side. I don't trust a linesman who's got a comb. He's got combed hair.
Yeah, no, he's offside, unfortunately for you. But I did say in the first half this had the hallmarks to be a battering, and it probably should have been a battering, as the chants should be going around. Is there a fire drill? Because you can see the Leicester fans leaving now. So
What's crazy with the Leicester fans leaving now is there's no way. Surely they went into this game and thought, yeah, there's maybe a chance, that we can do this. But what I don't understand is how they're shocked in such a way that they've got to leave.
Yeah, yes. It's like, what did you think was going to happen?
Like, oh wait, the United team's out. Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, McTominay, Matic. That makes me sick. Sancho, Fernandes, and Rashford and Ronaldo. So no Van der Beek.
And no Lingard. They're both on the bench, probably.
They brought Sancho back. Oh, what a save, Mendy.
Oh, that's a good save. And there's that Madison again.
I said 3-1. So I'm looking for the Leicester goal.
Yes. Yes. But
it's a solid save, though.
Yeah, it's a ripper save. But that United team, not being funny, just muchness, really. Good to see Sancho get some time. Hopefully in his actual position, not right wing back or whatever ridiculous thing they were trying to do with him. Left wing, I don't know what they were trying to do with him the other game. So yeah, muchness. McTominay and what's it? Yeah, Matt. Oh, that's piss, to be honest. So sorry,
Matic. Matic, fuck me. What is he? He should be nowhere near an EPL list. Maz asks, what is the AFL equivalent of Liverpool?
Collingwood. Yeah.
I'd say it's Collingwood. I mean, if Liverpool didn't win 2 years ago, I'd say it potentially could be us.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking that if Liverpool didn't win their title, it was 100% Carlton, a team who prides themselves on living in their glory years, always building. Because the fact they actually won one, I just have to say Collingwood. It's a team that if you don't love them, you hate them, and it's as simple as that. There's no grey area. There's no I've got a soft spot for them. No, if you're not a supporter, you hate them. So yeah, it'd have to be any one of the Collingwood, Richmonds, Essendons, us. Even say a bit of Hawthorn, But
Liverpool, Liverpool, eh? Oh, here's Chilwell. Go on, scored, Chilwell. Go down and take the penalty yourself. It's it. Oh, Reece. Think of the assist. Tell you what, Reece James, what a finish.
He's not offside, is he?
What?
Who was offside? Was it Chilwell to start?
If they're counting, that they surely can't be counting Ziyech on the right wing there.
Maybe.
He wasn't even interfering play.
Yeah. No. Is that Chilwell, I think? Is it Chilwell who got the ball offside?
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't look massively offside. Tell you what, that was a great finish though by Reece. I mean, hard to believe he's a wing back.
Yeah.
With finishing like that.
It was a great finish. And they've scored 3 goals paid offside. When was the last time you saw that happen?
I'll tell you what, Chelsea what I love about Thomas's way of playing is just how relaxed they are. Like, I don't reckon they burn much energy in a game.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. And they just look they just look calm all the time.
Thank you, Hudson OG. People were he had a chance there to prove me wrong. Wingers can finish, but his finishing there was horrific.
And he's offside again.
Who?
Hudson.
Oh, look.
This linesman's getting a fair workout. I'll tell you that right now.
Look at that finish, though.
Yeah. Gosh. Yeah, look, pay a little bit of sympathy to Leicester. They came out the start of the second half and gave a little bit, but it was nothing more than a yelp. And then, they've just limped away and really getting to the end, and they haven't deserved anything from this game. But yeah, maybe I think they deserve a goal. Your prediction of 3-1 is probably about right, although Chelsea have had 3 goals paid offside. So, yeah.
Well, I mean,
it could be 6-0.
It's been a tough day at the office, hasn't it, for Chelsea? I mean, for Leicester, Chelsea have just never... they've always looked like they've got another gear, haven't they?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you mentioned that earlier. They're happy to sit back in patches of the game and then when needed to be able to flick that gear, which I think is a very difficult thing to do. But when you can do it, it's magnificent. And I think that's why they look so calm all the time, because they don't burn energy. They know when to conserve their energy and when to go. And that's that perceived fitness that really, for the whole, when they got 2-0 up in that first half, for the next 20 minutes, I don't think they got out of a jog. So they were able to conserve that energy, and it's very well managed.
I've got to say, they are a supreme side. They are a supreme side. And I can't stand Chelsea for the simple reason that I never liked the foreign money coming into the game.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to ruin the game, and I started to hate Chelsea. Like, now I'm at the stage where I've accepted that it's the natural progression.
Yeah, because everyone's doing it. So,
but I like the fact that back in my little old days, when it was just locally owned clubs. But
yeah,
I will say this: they are, for me, the best side in England.
They've got Lukaku to come back in too, which is huge. Yeah.
I mean, if you're chasing them at the moment, knowing that Lukaku's coming back, that scares you.
Yeah, for sure, because he's a beast.
He's a frightening footballer.
When's he expected back? Do you know? Or
he was in my fantasy team, but I will tell you,
a little bit quiet on him
because I was filthy. Because within 2 weeks, I got rid of Ronnie. 28th of February, so next week.
So what's he done? Is it COVID, or did he get a knock, or
ankle?
Yeah.
Heartbreaker, but no, he's coming back. So, typical. He'll be back at that Christmas. That good time to have him back as well. Christmas is the busiest time.
I was hoping he'd be out still when they come up against West Ham, but looks like he won't be.
The criticism of Lukaku is he scores against the weaker sides.
Yeah. Oh, mate, we always had a saying.
Call West Ham weak anymore.
Well, not anymore. Well, we used to have a saying when he was at Everton and then West Brom. Whenever, this is dead set, I see it pop up on my Facebook memories because he used to post it all the time. You start 1-0 down because he would always score against West Ham without fail. And easiest money when I got into, when I was a bit older and got in, be able to place some bets on and stuff. It was easy money. It happened all the time. I danced on a table when he left the Premier League. Just like, well, there's 4 goals we're not going to concede this year.
I'll tell you, he's a mercurial talent. I'm looking forward to. I do like watching him play. I reserve it though because at United, I didn't really want him to go, but I understood why he had to. But then when I saw the shape he was in at Inter, he got super fit. Yeah,
he did. He's pure muscle. He what was one of the, I can't remember who it was against. It was earlier this season where he scored that goal and he literally just battered through. Yes, you're right. He just went through the centre backs, just like me pushing through the kids get to the canteen at lunchtime. Like, just went.
It was men versus boys, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Poor
Oh man, oh,
Gabriel
man.
at Arsenal had a nightmare that game.
Yeah. Oh man, he's a unit. As we're into obviously stoppage time, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed tonight. It's been good.
I always do. Your company is much appreciated. We were predicting goals.
Yes, that's
So
what we want.
We got it.
Yes.
I am surprised at the ease in which
I
thought Leicester may have troubled them a bit, but just how good Chelsea are.
I expect more from Leicester. However, what did shock me, now I don't look too low on the table these days, but what did shock me when I did see them at 12th, I thought, geez, maybe they're not having the best season or the season that I thought they were having. So maybe this is them. I don't know, but I did expect better. I did expect better, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think for them is that obviously Tielemans is a huge loss, isn't he?
When's he back?
I think next week.
Yeah.
I don't think he's out for very long.
Well, this is the problem. You got these. You don't know what. You don't know what.
19th of December, evidently now after the scans. What, 4 weeks?
Yeah. So yeah, that's a huge loss. But he's a bloody good player. That bloke, bloody good player. And look, and I know this is something that we need to. I don't know why. Speaking of Tielemans, made me think about this because he's Belgium, but the African Cup of Nations is coming up in January. Which teams is that going to affect the most? Who's going to lose some players for pretty much the entire month of January with the AFCON coming up? And I know this because obviously West Ham will lose Ben Rama.
Liverpool will lose Salah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Jeez.
And Mane.
Don't mind that at all.
Tell you what, that might be the title gone there.
Yeah, interesting. So obviously it affects them the most, but that's always an interesting one when you have that tournament where you're going to lose players for a good month.
It's going to be tough because obviously, do you know what I mean? We're going to really see, because we've obviously as well this time next year as well we've got the World Cup as well, so it's going to be interesting.
They're having a big break, aren't they?
It's going to be interesting to see how the clubs adapt because obviously, like you say, Liverpool, Mane and Salah, that's their entire team, really.
Yeah, you're right. You see that kid in the crowd holding the Chilwell, "Can I have your shirt?" Did you see the video of Jude Bellingham? There's a kid holding at the England game, Jude Bellingham, "Can I have your shirt?" And he's walking towards him, and he literally beelines and gives it to a hot bird in the crowd, or
classic
buries this kid completely, and the kid looked like he was going to melt. And look at that. Look, Chelsea now 6 points clear, but again using the old Mr. Papa Fazz's rules of look at up 10 more goal difference than Man City.
I mean, Liverpool's goal difference, they're pretty tasty.
Yeah, of course, and could get tastier.
I'll tell you that there is a side there that wedged between them. West Ham.
Yeah, look, just another day at the office.
I mean, but again, West Ham will be looking at that Chelsea fixture, thinking that could be the title race.
Well, got to get over the Wolves first, but yeah, you're right. It's just nice to be involved. That's all. Just nice to be involved.
Tell you what, West Ham beat Chelsea 4th of December. You're going to be hard work to be around.
Many might say I'm already hard work to be around.
Tell you what, right. You win that. I tell you what, and you're what, 3 points away.
Yeah, I'll. Interesting. Might have to just do a show just for the sake of it.
I'm just looking at it. When is that game? Tell you what, we will be watching that game. That's the early kickoff.
Oh, excellent. That'll be.
It's
I'll be
written.
up and about.
It's written in the
It
stars.
is. It is. Get involved. That's the big one. I love
Tell
it.
you what, that is truly terrifying. That I'll be watching that with you. Well,
Yeah.
we'll be back next week. Next week's fixture is more for your mate, really. Arsenal Newcastle.
Yes. Yes. Talk
We've
about goals. There
slagged
should be goals.
Newcastle off.
Yeah, yeah. We've buried them all show, so it'll be good to watch them. But no,
So
yeah.
tune in for that one to watch Newcastle win that game and make us look like idiots.
Why not? That's why we do it.
Well, thanks so much for joining me. Thanks everyone in the audience. We'll see you next week. Stay safe.
See you later.